All right, diving in today, getting into some really fascinating stuff. I think a book that's had an impact, I'd say, on millions and millions of people when it comes to thinking about achievement and success and all those things that so many of us are chasing in different forms.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
And it's not just sort of some, off the top of his head kind of ideas, right? This book came from a really extraordinary commitment to understanding success.
Absolutely, yeah. We're talking about 25 years worth of research and interviews with 500 of the most successful people of his era, folks like Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison.
Wow.
And he wasn't looking at, luck or circumstance. He was really trying to drill down and find those core principles at play.
So the big question driving Hill's work, and I guess our deep dive today, is what is that formula? What are those kind of bedrock principles that these incredibly successful people were consistently applying to reach those huge ambitions?
Yeah, and for everyone listening in, the goal today is to really extract those core ideas, not just, summarize the book, but really explore the mindset and the steps that Hill identified, so you can maybe walk away with a clearer understanding of how to apply these principles to your own goals, whatever those may be.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Where does Hill begin to lay out this formula for riches?
Well, it all starts with something really, really fundamental, desire, but not just any old wish. He's talking about like a powerful, intent, almost burning desire, as he puts it. Weak desires bring weak results. It's the absolute starting point.
That resonates, doesn't it? Think about any really significant accomplishment. It's always fueled by a really powerful drive. It's like the engine that propels us forward. But what do you think makes this kind of desire so potent?
It's about focus and commitment, I think. When you have that intense desire, it cuts through distractions and you become so laser focused on the goal, and you're much more likely to, persevere through challenges.
Yeah.
Hill actually illustrates this really well with the story of Edwin C. Barnes.
Oh, yeah, Barnes and his whole pursuit of working with Thomas Edison,
Yeah.
a classic example of seemingly impossible ambition.
Exactly. I mean, here's a guy with no money, no connections, no real logical reason why Thomas Edison, this titan of industry, would give him the time of day. But Barnes had this unwavering desire not just to work for Edison, but to be a partner with him.
And how did that play out? I mean, it sounds like a real long shot.
He didn't give up. He showed up. He found ways to make himself useful, even in small ways, and just held on to that vision with incredible tenacity. And eventually it paid off his intense focus, his relentlessness. It worked. He became a key part of Edison's operation.
What's really interesting about Barnes' story is that his initial burning desire wasn't even about money directly, right? It was about that association with Edison, and the financial success followed. But it was the sheer force of that ambition that kind of broke down those barriers. So I guess for you listening, what is that powerful, clearly defined ambition? Yeah. The one that truly ignites you.
That's the crucial first step. And as our source material highlighted, clarifying that desire, writing it down with vivid detail and keeping it top of mind acts like a powerful internal compass. It's constantly directing your actions.
Okay, so we've got that intense desire as the foundation. What's next in building this pathway to success? What does Hill say comes next?
Well, following desire, Hill emphasizes faith.
Yeah.
And specifically belief, belief in your ability to achieve your desire. He argues that without this fundamental belief in yourself and your capacity to succeed, your desire is unlikely to really translate into tangible reality.
It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? If you're constantly plagued by self-doubt, that negativity can become a very real obstacle. But how do we cultivate this kind of unwavering faith, especially when we're faced with setbacks?
Hill uses a really powerful analogy here. He likens the subconscious mind to a fertile garden, and he says, if you're constantly planting seeds of negative thoughts, doubt, fear, worry, that's what will inevitably grow. But if you make a conscious effort to plant positive seeds, of belief and confidence, you're far more likely to see that positive harvest.
That idea of consciously shaping our internal landscape is key, and we see examples of this all around us. Entrepreneurs who maintain unwavering confidence even when facing initial failures, or athletes who visualize victory before competition. It seems like that underlying belief can be a real differentiator.
Oh, absolutely. Look at Muhammad Ali, his constant declarations of "I am the greatest." That wasn't just for showmanship. There was a deep conviction behind it, a powerful self-belief that in many ways paved the way for his extraordinary achievements. He believed it before he had definitively proven it to the world.
So for our listener, the actionable insight here is to actively cultivate that self-belief. And this isn't about, blind optimism or ignoring potential challenges. It's about fostering a deep-seated confidence in your ability to learn, to adapt, and to ultimately achieve your goals.
Yeah.
So how do you start to build that kind of unshakable faith?
That leads us directly to Hill's next principle, autosuggestion. And this is essentially the method by which we begin to plant those positive seeds of belief in our subconscious mind.
So it's the practical technique for influencing our own thoughts and beliefs. So how does Hill actually explain the mechanics of autosuggestion?
He emphasizes that the subconscious mind is incredibly receptive to repeated suggestions, especially when those suggestions are infused with strong emotion. He points out that the brain, on a subconscious level, doesn't necessarily distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and what we perceive as tangible reality.
And that's why visualization can be so powerful, right? If you can vividly imagine yourself, already having achieved your goal, experiencing the success and the positive emotions associated with it, your brain starts to respond as if that reality were already present.
Exactly. Think about athletes, who mentally rehearse their performances down to the smallest detail, visualizing every successful move. That mental practice can have a huge impact on their actual performance.
So what practical steps does Hill recommend for our listener to harness the power of autosuggestion?
Well, he outlines a very specific technique, the daily practice of verbalizing your positive affirmations with genuine feeling. He even provides a concrete example. I am now attracting wealth, success, and abundance. And the key is to say it out loud with conviction and to really feel the truth of that statement as you're saying it.
What's crucial here is that emotional connection, right? It's not just about reciting words like a mantra. It's about imbuing those affirmations with real emotion, making them resonate more deeply within your subconscious mind.
Precisely. It's about creating that vivid mental and emotional experience that starts to reshape your internal beliefs and expectations.
Okay, so we've got desire, we've got belief nurtured through autosuggestion. What's the next essential element in Hill's formula for success?
Next, Hill stresses specialized knowledge, and he makes a critical distinction between general information and knowledge that is specifically focused and directly applicable to your chosen field or ambition.
So it's not enough to just be generally well-informed. It's about developing deep expertise in a particular area. Why is this specialized knowledge so crucial for achieving significant success?
Because in today's world, broad general knowledge often isn't enough to provide a unique value. It's the depth of understanding and the mastery of a specific skill that allows you to stand out and really create an impact and therefore, significant wealth. Hill contrasts the person who knows a little bit about everything with the individual who is a true expert in a valuable field.
That makes a lot of sense. Information itself is readily available, but the ability to deeply understand, apply, and innovate within a specific domain is what truly sets people apart.
And Hill uses the example, which we also saw, highlighted in our source material of Bill Gates. I mean, he didn't just have a passing interest in computers. He immersed himself in software development, achieving a profound level of mastery. That specialized knowledge was a fundamental driver of his groundbreaking success. And the emphasis here really is on that word mastered.
So the guidance for our listener here is to really identify a high-value skill or an area of knowledge that aligns with their desires and has the potential to generate significant results. And then it's about committing to a journey of continuous learning and dedicated practice to truly become an expert in that domain.
Absolutely. It's about going deep in a specific area rather than spreading yourself too thin across, a lot of different subjects.
So you have this specialized knowledge. How does Hill suggest we actually leverage it to achieve our goals?
That's where the power of imagination comes into play. Hill argues that your imagination is essentially the workshop where your plans are created. It sets the boundaries for what you can ultimately achieve. If you can't imagine it, you're unlikely to build it.
It's that crucial stage of mental creation, right? Every tangible achievement starts as an intangible idea within someone's mind.
Exactly. Our source material was clear on this point. Every significant financial success began with an idea, a spark of imagination before any physical manifestation. It's the ability to see something in your mind's eye before it exists in the real world.
And Hill provides a wonderfully inspiring example of this with Walt Disney. And the concept of Disneyland Initially, it was met with so much skepticism, even ridicule people couldn't quite grasp his vision.
Absolutely. It seemed like an outlandish, impossible dream to many, but Disney held on to that vivid mental image, that fully formed vision of what Disneyland could be. And despite the doubts and the financial hurdles, he persevered and brought that imaginative creation into reality, changing the landscape of entertainment forever.
So for the listener, the encouragement here is to really tap into your imaginative capacity without limitations. Don't let current circumstances or the opinions of others constrain your ability to envision your desired future in vivid detail.
And Hill even recommends a specific practice, make it a nightly ritual, to vividly imagine yourself already living the life you desire. Having achieved your goals, feel the emotions, see the surroundings, make it as real as possible in your mind.
It reinforces the idea that the more vividly you can engage your imagination and experience your desired outcome mentally, the more your subconscious mind will be directed towards making that a reality.
Okay, so we've covered the internal elements: desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, and imagination. Now, what are the principles that drive external action and results?
That's where decision and persistence become absolutely critical. Hill emphasizes that the ability to make firm decisions quickly and to persevere relentlessly in the face of setbacks is a defining characteristic of successful individuals.
Yeah, he draws a stark contrast between those who fail, who often procrastinate and change their minds easily, and those who succeed, who make decisions promptly and stick to them. And perhaps even more importantly, they demonstrate an unwavering refusal to give up when faced with obstacles.
That resilience, that ability to learn from failures and keep moving forward is so vital. It's about viewing challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and refinement.
The story of Thomas Edison's invention of the light bulb is such a powerful illustration of this. I mean, 10,000 attempts. Imagine the sheer determination required to keep going after so many perceived failures. He didn't let discouragement derail his ultimate goal.
That's a profound lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's often a necessary part of the journey. The key is to maintain that unwavering persistence and learn from each misstep.
So the direct call to action for our listener here is to identify a significant goal and make a firm decision to pursue it. Take that initial step immediately, no matter how small it may seem, and then cultivate that mental toughness, that unwavering persistence to see it through to completion.
It's about overcoming that initial inertia and then developing the mental fortitude to stay committed to your course, even when the path becomes difficult.
Now, we talked about, a lot of individual principles, but Hill also highlights a powerful concept related to the collective and the people we surround ourselves with.
Yes, the concept of the mastermind. This is where the synergy of collaboration comes into play.
Exactly. Hill emphasizes that the influence of your social circle is profound. You tend to absorb the attitudes, beliefs, and habits of those you spend the most time with, making it crucial to consciously surround yourself with ambitious and driven individuals.
It's that idea that the combined intelligence, experience, and energy of a group of like-minded people working in harmony can achieve far more than any single individual working alone.
And the example of Henry Ford, again, is so relevant here. While he may not have had, a formal, extensive education, he strategically surrounded himself with brilliant engineers, financiers, and marketers. He leveraged their specialized knowledge and collaborated effectively to build his industrial empire. It's a testament to the power of collective intelligence.
So Hill's practical advice for our listener is to actively seek out and cultivate a mastermind group of perhaps 3 to 5 individuals who share your ambition and are also striving for success. This should be a space for open communication, mutual support, brainstorming, and holding each other accountable.
It's about creating a supportive ecosystem where you can exchange ideas, receive constructive feedback, and stay motivated on your journey toward your goals. It's about building a team of allies.
What's significant is that this goes beyond simple networking. It's about forming deeper, more meaningful collaborations with a select group of individuals who are genuinely invested in each other's success.
Absolutely. It's about creating a collective brain power that is exponentially greater than the sum of its individual parts.
Well, we've taken a really deep dive into the foundational principles of Think and Grow Rich today. What's the overarching message you want our listener to carry forward?
Ultimately, Think and Grow Rich offers a very actionable blueprint for achieving success. It's not about luck or chance. It's about understanding and deliberately applying these fundamental principles of mindset and action.
And as Hill himself would likely emphasize, These principles are not just, theoretical concepts to be understood intellectually, but rather tools to be actively used and integrated into your daily life.
Exactly. So here's our final thought for you, listener. Choose just one of the principles we've discussed today. Perhaps the power of defining your desire with absolute clarity, or the practice of consistent positive affirmations, or even the idea of seeking out your own mastermind group and commit to implementing it. Immediately take that first deliberate step and then take the time to honestly reflect on the impact it begins to have.
Because as Hill so powerfully articulated, the journey to wealth and success truly begins within your own mind. It's about recognizing and harnessing that profound connection between your thoughts, your beliefs, and the tangible results you can achieve in the world.
Thanks for exploring these powerful ideas with us. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.